As we have been discussing, that pramada, pramada means taking oneself for granted, carelessness, is the cause of all sort of anartha in our life. So if at all there is any sort of conflict, any sort of problem, it is not because of others, nor even because of prarabdha, even though we accept, we go, but a wise person looks at because of pramada. The reason is why, making it very clearly, with reference to body, the physical problem, whether it is a form of disease or any other thing, a wise person does not have any control over, because it is completely governed by prarabdha. Whereas with reference to mental agony, with reference to conflict, a wise person has completely mastery over, not control over, mastery over. And that's why a person is called wise. Suppose there is some conflict, there is some agony. It is not because of the prarabdha, but because of what? It is only because of pramada, carelessness. So we have many examples that has led to different type of complications in the life of a wise person. And of course, prior to this pramada, we have seen in details how this is a triangle. So triangle, vasana, kriya and chinta. I hope you remember. So that becomes easier to remember this. And in center, the bindu called ahankara. Because unless these three governed by ahankara is predominant, there cannot be any pramadam. So wherever there is pramadam, there is carelessness, it presupposes that the person is cut off with this triangle. The person is under the spell of this triangle called vasana, kriya and chinta. Now while talking this, even if a wise person, that is what last verse we saw, must not encourage, must not embrace, must not be part of pramadam called carelessness. Especially here the carelessness means when the person starts withdrawing one's own self, starts neglecting one's own self, starts distancing one's own self from one's own self. Because the moment we are attracted to our likes and dislikes, starting with our objects or person or anybody or anything, makes no difference. That time, definitely we are distancing ourselves from ourselves. So when I say ourselves from ourselves, in short, our antakarana from the real self. So antakarana means inner instrument, the mind, main. And once we start doing it, that's why including when we are with our likes and dislikes, now the antakarana, the mind is with mind. Can you see this point? And when mind is with mind, you know what hell you go through. Nobody can help you out. That's why you have to mind it that there is no mind or there is mind. You know, all these words we play very carefully just to confuse the person if not confused. However, while talking all these things, it starts going how it happens, because mainly when the carelessness happens, it's a beautiful point to observe. If a person discovers that I am becoming careless, so what the person should do? So there the person must learn to observe that how the person is being engaged, and also corresponding to the engagement with sense objects, what is happening within. This is must be observed very carefully. Because remember one thing, I hope you all are enjoying. The purpose of a class is, regular classes that we are having, that's what I am enjoying now, is not to gain anything. In fact, you lose everything. I don't know whether you will really gain anything or not, at least peace of mind whether you will gain or not, but definitely whatever you are holding on to little bit, that also supposed to go away. Because unless you leave that the complete trust, whether it's in the God, whether it's in yourself is dangerous, okay? Or the teaching and the teacher. Because finally the complete trust in teaching and teacher leads to complete trust to the God. And that leads to complete trust in oneself. But the transition period is very tough to go through. That's why here by regular classes, one thing must be happening. At least the conflict that you have does not grow further. Hopefully. But the problem is new types of conflict comes up, okay? And your mind gets immune to it. That's the funniest part of life. Because of lack of, here I would rather say, contemplation. That's why I had asked all of you, I don't know whether you people are doing or not, 1 hour maunam. How many of you started? Thank you, both of you. Very nice. Very nice. So all these boys are really good, eh? Excellent. Thank you, okay? At least, even if I am telling you to start with, boys especially, even if you get up at morning 5, make it 5 to 6, morning hours. Any time. Even if sleeping time, please understand. Start. Suppose you know every day you go to bed 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock or whatever. Put 9 to 10. Sometime you have to. Because you will see a big difference in you. Nobody is going to misunderstand. Nothing you are going to lose. Few days there will be big issue. And there will be conflict. Few days. If you manage that, you will enjoy like anything. It is exactly like I have gone through very well. When I used to read newspaper those days, very crazy I was. If there is no newspaper, as though I think, like I am completely cut off from the world. I don't know anything, what is happening. I discovered something happened, I think 15 to 20 days I could not read newspaper. After 20 days when I read, I felt that I have not lost anything. And later on when I joined this brahmachari course and other things, no newspaper, nothing. After a few years, again when I started looking at the newspaper, not reading, looking at, because reading got over, okay? You understand, reading and looking at, there is big difference. When I started looking at the newspaper, I thought there is nothing, no change, nothing, except some names and photos, okay? The content was perfect, intact, perfectly intact. Like how this happens with the newspaper, same thing also Facebook. If you don't look at Facebook few minutes, not few days is very big thing, right? Few minutes. So you feel, wow, something is crashing, something is happening. You will discover by mistake if there is a network, nothing, something happens, okay? You will discover after 10 days if you open your Facebook, I'll tell you, you will feel nothing you have got. Same stupid photo, all that, TikTok, this, that, you will discover nothing means nothing you have missed. In fact, you have gained your peace of mind. However, choice is yours, okay? Coming back. How he says, let us read this verse. Beautifully he takes differently. How? Visyabhimukham drushtva vidvansamapi vismrutihi vikshepayati dhidoshayi yosajaramiva priyam. Says beautifully. Visaya abhimukham drushtva vidvansam api vismrutihi. Even if a vidwan, so here vidwan means a learned person, the one who knows what is right, what is wrong. But he says beautifully, once the person visaya abhimukham drushtva, once the person's mind is extrovert, is mainly towards sense objects, Vishaya. Says beautifully, even if that person, what happens? There is a vismruti, there is forgetfulness. Because why there is forgetfulness? Because it's very simple. Mind is already extroverted. And not only that, says vikshepayati dhidosaihi. So this mind starts, projecting. So a lot of projection is there. So because of the projection, mind is not with you. So that is what is being called as, a funny mind. I cannot say pervert mind. So perversion is entirely different. So it's a really not healthy mind either. And what happens is, look, dhidosaihi. So this is called, it is a dhidosa, defect in thinking process. So there is a defect in your thinking process. Can you see how dangerous it is? We can take a lot of examples. You can look at your own example in your day-to-day life. And of course, here, one example is being given. Yosha jaram iva priyam iti. So he says, look, Yosha means a woman, starts loving a man. And how that man goes through, and woman also goes through the hell, because there is love and there is also love presupposes emptiness in the person. So that embracing uncertainty, that is better one, okay? Here, embracing uncertainty is created by the love. That's why you can see how these teenagers, boys and girls, when they love, how they are uncertain anywhere and everywhere. So they never stay in their house, in the sense, mind is always, what is going to happen, what is not going to happen. If you call them, this is going to they never listen to. So we say very nicely, I remember in teenager time, when the boy does not listen to you, even if you call, that means you can say that fellow is in some other world. So also the girl, okay? It's very simple logic. You don't have to break your head. You need to have little bit, common sense to understand that chemical reactions. However, says beautifully that how it happens. So a teenager, let us say, when loves, whether it's a boy or a girl, how the forgetfulness, how the bewilderness, how mind starts functioning differently. There is pain, there is agony in the name of love. In fact, there is only pain and agony. There is nothing called love, I am sorry to say. Fear, agony, frustrations, uncertainty, anything you name it, that is there, everything is there. And only once in a while, like having ice cream, that's all over. For ice cream is over, and your shirt and everything also is gone, okay? Ice cream falls down, you understand? And if you have tonsil problem, later on problem, God knows all the complications. Let me not exaggerate it too much, okay? This is not right in my part at this moment. What I am trying to highlight in short is that how it happens, same thing also for a wise person. So a wise person, if is engaged in the sense object world, definitely that wise person is going to lose wisdom. That's why we say there are two margas. There are two paths. One is called Pravritti Marga, other one is called Nivritti Marga, which Bhagavad Gita highlighted. Lokesmin Dividha Nishtha. That there are two types of commitment. Karma yogena yogina, Sankhya yogena jnanina. Because that determines very clearly the way of living and maturity. One cannot mix up. Very difficult. That's why, what is to be done here? Here, I have to make it very clear. At least, let me see my mind and thinking process. Wherever I am. Even if I am a karma yogi, let me do karma with this healthy attitude to see the growth in me, not to show the growth to others. Because we all are doing to show the growth to others. And that to other means what? Other means one or two people in your life. Please understand. This is the worst thing that we all do unknowingly. Whole life you are wasting to show your growth, to show your success. One or two people. That's all. from a childhood, you try to do everything to show to your father, to prove to your father or a sibling. The devil, okay, next devil. And later on, so-called friends, lover, beloved, and sometimes after marriage, that's the worst thing to happen. I want to prove everything to my wife or husband. Hey, God's sake. And never ever do that. It's a waste of time. Why should we prove? Why should you show your success or anything? Nothing to prove to anybody. Please understand. You continue the way you are. That should be the approach. Please understand. Of course, while continuing the way you are, you don't have to disturb others. If you can help, help. If you cannot help, don't get bothered, don't get worried. That should be the mantra, remember. And later on, some people also start working, to prove their children. Mamma mia. And some crazy people are there also, they want to prove their grandchildren. Now tell me, where is the end? However, that's why be very clear and careful. Let us read the next verse. Yatha paprishtam shaivalam, yatha paprishtam saivalam, kshenamatram natishthatim, abrunoti tatha maya, pragyam vapi param mukham. This beautiful example that I have seen many times in our childhood, in teenager time especially, in the pond. So there is one type of shaivalam, a mush. So that floats on the water, very tiny ones. So in a pond especially where the water is stable, so the moment you go to take bath or whatever you want to use, so you have to push little bit like this, okay? And sometimes there very itching also comes. In the beginning there is no itching, when this becomes this size, that becomes very itching, very bad. And what the interesting part is, you have to keep pushing. In fact, in Kerala also I have seen some places like this. There's a lot of water body. So what they do is, they will put some bamboo stick, something like that, so that big space, so that area nothing will have come. Or else you push it, it will go in 2 seconds. This fellow will come. Sometimes when you take a dip, then they will come. That fast they comes. So this is a very nice example. In fact, it is, I remember, then when you get really tired of it, so Saturday, Sunday what we do, so because very itching, very painful that is. So Saturday, Sunday what we have to do is, better waste our time and everything, we'll remove everything. But our target those days was not removing, okay, to be very honest. So Saturday, Sunday, in the name of removing, we get a chance to make a mess in the pond. Swimming and making muddy, because we are doing it, okay. So more than removing that mess, so we do other things, okay. Then after 2 days again, same thing, whatever. And interestingly, not only it comes back fast, I have observed that fellow grows very fast. And very nothing from nothing, literally this must comes because of some water stagnant or whatever, all these things. As that happens, this the example is being given. Yatha apakrushtam shaivalam ksanamatram natisthati abrunati iti. It just covers within a second. And of course, same thing also, tatha maya pragyam vapi paramukham. The Maya job is to make you extrovert. So even if you don't want, automatically it makes a person to become extrovert. So you don't have to think of anything, okay? It just happens. How can you believe it? That's why one has to be extremely alert and careful. Let us read next. Lakshyachyutam chedyadi chetamishad chittamishad bahirmukham sannipate tattatah pramadatah pracyutakeli kandukah sopana pankto patito yatha tatha. Says beautifully. Let us look at. Look. Lakshya chitam chet yadi chittam. That too ishat. Slightly. Ishat means slightly. What happens? So here he says, Lakshya chitam chet. And what is that? Chittam. If the mind is literally missed its lakshya, target. So what is the target of the mind? Success. Okay? What is success? Let me go along with you people. Also nothing wrong in it. Whether I wanted to criticize success, but now let me go also. So what is success? To see or show. All the common people think generally success is to show, not to see. Education is your success. Was it for you or for others? Be honest. And best example is all of you are there. Most of you, or not, I cannot say all of you, most of you, except few, engineers. My favorite topic, okay? So why did you do engineering? Not a single one here now. At least this Karthik Sundar I respect in this regard. Few years he had done work in keeping with his study. Few years, then again also stupid fellow got rid of it. So what you studied and what you are doing has no connection. Am I right? Absolutely no connection. So in this regard, I can respect what do you call our Stefano, poor fellow. So what he studied, he is continuing till his death. He will continue. Poor fellow, he doesn't have any choice. Okay. Coming back to the point here, that success is not to show but to see. And the real success, if it is seeing, means growth, that means to be with myself. To understand myself. That is the target. That is the lakshya. That is the purpose of my life. Because once I am happy, everything is great in my life. If I am unhappy, tell me, will anybody be interested to relate with me? Because the moment you come to know that I am unhappy, just I am giving you the example, even if openly I am saying it, you know, what are the difficulties we are facing, I am facing, I can use the word, at present. Sometimes fighting alone, not fighting going through alone, okay, that's better word now. Now if I become disturbed, if I lose my peace of my mind, will you like it? Be honest. You say, what is this? If Swamiji After studying so much and other things, if this thing happening and Swamiji is disturbed, Swamiji has lost his peace of mind, then what is the purpose of this study? It's a big question mark, please understand. Because a few days back, that's what I am trying to tell you. As I told you, a few days back when I was meeting some sadhus, so I was really got shocked to know that it seems, because I have never attended, I have never seen, so it seems there is a person who is very good, considered as a great acharya, very good knowledge in the scripture. Now about him everybody is talking, he is good for nothing. I said, what happened? Because yes, he is talking good, but when the problem, some problem came, so he is the first person who supported, which is not right. In fact, he encouraged everything. So that means what sort of knowledge he taught? So we don't want to, brahmacharis are there, they said we don't want to attend his class. After that, in fact, 50% of the brahmachari dropped his class. Because that matters at the end. Can you see this point? This is the truth, this is the reality, whether you like it or not. Now poor Swamiji is working to restore his image. So, what I am highlighting here is that the mind, when is comfortable with one's own self, in short, when you are happy, all other people want to relate with you. If you are not happy, remember nobody is going to relate with you. For a few days somebody will sympathize. Maybe few people will empathize. Remember this point. For a few days many people will sympathize. And for a long time few people will empathize. Is it all about sympathy and empathy? How long can a person live with sympathetic way or empathetic way? Impossible. But we are accustomed to believe in sympathetic way, empathetic way. Have you not observed? And that is what you call as a relationship. When you come back from the office, you expect somebody should say, hey, how are you? If there is nobody, keep a dog. Dog will bark and start wow, wow, wow. So you feel very good. There is someone waiting for you. I'm not telling you jokes. Look at the psychology of the mind. It happens without our knowledge. However, so he says beautifully, let us not go too much. When the mind loses its target, and that too slightly. In fact, there is nothing called slightly, okay? Either it hits the target or no target, okay? This is the truth, okay? Then automatically mind becomes extrovert. And when it becomes extrovert, it keeps jumping. In fact, it keeps going round and round because of confusion and whatnot. And he gives the example of what? It is exactly like a ball, kanduka. So a ball is being thrown. Sometimes we do, like on the staircase, nothing to do, we hit the wall and catch. You understand? So nice. So use the wall because all the childhood jobs, okay? Throw the wall and it will bounce back. So this is called cricket, okay? In India, this is what every fellow does, okay? And also the mother will start shouting. Do you know why they shout? Not because you are playing the ball, not because of the wall. Because if anything misses, the glass and whatever all these things are there will be destroyed, you understand? Only shouting, nothing else you hear. But still, all these boys will do it. Now he says, one more step ahead. Suppose while hitting, that doesn't hit the target. Now, or it hits target, comes to your hand, you are not able to hold it. Both way, all the way you can take it. Now again goes away from your hand, bounces. and falls on the staircase steps. Now what will happen? Do you have control over it? Once it falls on stairs, how this ball is going to jump, where it is going to go, God only knows. Can you see this point? This is the point to be understood. And more you go, if you run behind, you climb up, there is a possibility you may fall down. The only you will create a complication. That means it's completely not under your control, unpredictable too. Some damage or other will happen if there are glasses and other things are there. You know what will happen. So he says, as a ball misses the target, that the wall target or your hand target, whatever, and falls on the staircase, that too on the steps, you do not know where the ball is going to go till it comes to stand still by itself or gets cornered somewhere, somehow. But sometimes, straight it gets into a corner, somehow nothing happens. You understand? That is called God's grace. If you want to explain what is God's grace, that is called God's grace. No scolding at all. And also proudly say, nothing has happened. Look, I know it will go there. This is what we do works out, okay? I know, because I remember, okay, all this thing. That's why I'm trying to share with you all, okay? So also the mind. So mind once loses its target slightly, it keeps going round, makes a lot of confusion in life. Let us read next. Visayesva visachetah sankalpayati tat gunan samyak sankalpanat kamaha kamat pumsah pravartanam. Said beautifully, very. Visayesu avisat chetah sankalpayati tad gunan. Exactly. ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः संगस्तेषु उपजायते संगात् संजायते काम कामात् क्रोध विजायते. In Bhagavad Gita. So this is being put in a little different way. Vishayeshu avisat chetah sankalpayati iti. So once the mind now is tuned towards Vishaya, sense objects, then what happens? Automatically, now the mind is fascinated, the Vishaya Gunan, towards the qualities of the object. Remember this point. It is exactly like when you look at Himalaya. Instead of Himalaya, because tomorrow discussion is going to happen, so better to use this word, Mount Etna. Okay. So the moment we look at Mount Etna, automatically you will think of only the good quality of Mount Etna. What a beautiful. So Swamiji, we should have one ashram set up on, not near, on Mount Etna. Hopefully not on the mouth, okay? But okay, fantastic. Indirectly I am telling, fantastic, good. But what about the defects? What about winter? Who is going to stay in winter? It's very painful. The life in Mount Indra in winter is not that easy. So only, and not only that, whichever part Mount Etna you stay, you cannot stay other part of the Mount Etna either. At least if you are away from Mount Etna, you will have a better view. You understand? Except Castania, okay? Only when you are there, you will get Castania. In fact, now this is the season for Castania, if I am right. So, okay, we are going to come, okay? So, I am not bad, okay? I remember everything. Chestnut, okay? Castania means chestnut for all of you. So, what I am trying to say is, so only we look at the best part, only guna, not dosha. This is the point, okay? So once we look at the guna part, we dwell upon the gunas, the qualities, then what happens? Then suddenly, from that samyak sankalpanat, because of closeness or dwelling upon the best part of that object, the desire to be in that place starts developing, or to be with that person starts developing. Whether it is object, person or situation makes no difference. And of course, once the desire is being developed, now what happens? That desire pushes the person to achieve, to fulfill. Because once desire is being created, whether you like it or not, you have to fulfill. If you don't fulfill, life is full of emptiness, vacuum. Imagine if there is no desire, will you bother about anything? There is best ice cream in summer in front of you, but you are not interested. Does it make any sense to you? There is no desire to eat. The best pizza is in front of you, but you are least bothered. Will you bother? Will you really care for it? Like I see people without Coke or without Pepsi, all these things, they cannot eat pizza. Suppose if you are not interested about this thing, will you bother about it? Just let me give you with the examples, okay? So it is the desire. So how this Coke or Pepsi have comes? Because pizza is very heavy. If you have Cokes or Pepsi, it will digest. Some fellow has rejected this thought, you understand? And also some places, if you ask for a water bottle, you have to pay for it. But if you ask for Pepsi or Coke, it is free. That's another sad part of life. So in short, what I am highlighting here is, when the mind starts dwelling upon the good part of any sense object, especially positive part of any sense objects, the goodness of any sense objects, slowly there is mental closeness. So once the mental closeness happens, now mind finds some type of comfort there. Now the same mind wants to extend that comfort. So extending the comfort timings, remember this point, beautiful way of looking at it. Extending the comfort timing is called desire. And fulfilling that comfort timing is called activities. So that's why the desire pushes me to achieve. And after achieving, again I discover my desire is still as it was, or it becomes worse. Have you not observed? More of it. We'll see on Monday. Please close your eyes. Om Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadai Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.